And if we don't go out well, we will come back with an uploaded, recorded version of this walk around of the final big rig build off trucks, and it is a monster. So I can't wait to share this truck with you. Dustin, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great. How are you?
Good. We haven't talked to you at all today, huh?
No, it's first time seeing you.
Good one. And of course, you all know Kendall.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Kendall's actually going to for them to bond a little more and talk more about the truck. And we got Jake and everything that they're talking about. Want to thank everybody that sponsored today. We will be back tomorrow all day outside, okay? So a little bit of rain threatening right now. We're hoping to get through that before we're done and have no problems. So before we end this thing, right? Is your guy coming?
He's coming.
Okay, we got, has it done?
Has not been done, not a single
Okay.
person.
What we're gonna do with this truck here before we let you guys go, it's a first right here on.
Dad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, glad to be here.
So, we're here.
This is Storm's.
Wait, okay, so this is our 2024 Matt's build-off truck. So tell me a little bit about it. What year is it to be?
Truck, you know, a running, driving, usable truck. And felt like it was just a great candidate for what we were going to be doing here.
Okay, so let's take a walk around of this truck. Let's look at first what we have under the hood.
3412, it's a 27 liter, came out of a D11 dozer. We got it from a company in Pennsylvania, Old Forge Power. It was a good running engine, and we took it in, stripped off probably 2,000, 2,500 pounds of dozer parts, and converted into what you see here is a semi-truck. Be used as a semi-truck engine, and we've got a radiator in there from D&B Heat Transfer out of Michigan. It was a phenomenal job building that for us. We got the electric fans on the front where we can really move that cooler that was on this thing beforehand. Allowed us to as we could, so we could try to get that thing underneath this factory length hood. That was kind of one of the things I really linked hood. I wanted it to be a sleeper. You know, when you pop that hood open, it's something that you never was expecting to see under there. So that's what we were able to achieve, that by doing that with the radiator moved forward. And then when we got the cab mocked back up, it was just a little bit too 4 inches, and put a 389 hood on it. 389 hood is off that I was going for. Josh Wieland out of Virginia. He's a good friend of mine from college. He and I met at Wyotech and been really good friends ever since. He helped me on the blue truck years ago, my Built to Be Noticed truck, when I was just getting started. So it was really awesome to have him back out to the shop to help us make a really neat one-off piece to get that exhaust up into those twin front suspension.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got independent front suspension on the front of this truck. It's something that's been in my head to try to do for 3 or 4 years, and just never had that idea in my head. I was like, finally, I get to get that out of there and out into the open and let some people. Retrofit kit from like a Prevost bus or something. I knew the cradle that they offered with that kit wasn't going to work, and the airbag configuration that was designed in their kit wasn't going to work for us either. So I had that lower A-arm to be able to accept an airbag down there, like more what you would find in a sports car, you know, just a standard type car suspension. All the geometry for the front suspension with plumb bob and square. You know, we had the rotors slotted, so that way it looked like a race car stuff. We got the JTX forged wheels on there that with the giant holes in them that really pull off that look of the kind of cartoony. When you even get our T-shirts made, they've always got giant wheels on them, and that's what we were going for there.
So now moving on to our interior, let's look at this dash. It is wild. Who came up with this idea? And
There's the shape and things like that. I started building that out of 6-inch blocks of foam and shaping it. I had an electric turkey knife. I was hogging out most. Started out looking like something that might have been in Fred Flintstone's car, and started whittling it down and grinding it and kind of forming the shape. So you can use a little bit of imagination and see where I'm going there, but it's certainly not finished. So that is disappointing, being on this stage that we weren't able to finish that. But you know, we built this whole truck in 10.5 weeks, and we just weren't able to get that part of it done. The way that's going to operate is, the best way to describe it is a 4K iPad. So it's going to brakes, the AC controls, the radio, anything that you need to control via on that dash, and we'll be able to control all that right from there, whether it be the door pop. You'll notice there's no door handles on the inside or the outside, so we can allow ourselves to get in and out of there by that. But it'll be quite a piece. We hired a graphics artist to design a startup sequence for us, so when you fire the computer up, which when we're all done will be off of a thumbprint.
the frame. What happened to the hoses? Where'd they go?
Well, we hit them.
This is probably one of the smoothest frames I've ever seen. So tell me what the ideas were about literally having the drive shaft above the
Cross members.
above the cross members. Who came up with this idea?
So that's another idea. I've kind of had my mind for something, not running a deck plate. I just really wanted to do something different. You know, I love deck plates. We put them on almost every single truck we build, and same with belly pans. You know, I really wanted to showcase the drive shaft rather than hide the drive shaft. So I needed to make those cross members that shape for a design feature, but it ended up being a necessity as we made the truck sit so low. The drive line would have been at a severe angle when it was deflated, and it just wouldn't aesthetically look very good. So it went from a design feature to something that was really important to us to have, so that the thing didn't bind up or look kind of silly when it's sitting here deflated. You know, we boxed the whole frame in and welded up every hole. There's not a single bolt in this whole chassis, shy of the ones holding the fuel tank brackets on. Those are aluminum, and we could remake them out of steel, and we may, just to clean it up that one more little bit, but you know, when's enough, so we'll probably look at a few other things that we need worse before we dive into those fuel tank holders. But you know, we did all the custom suspension here in the rear. We built all this in-house. I drew it up on the computer on CAD, and I was able to give the guys a print, and then hand Zach that runs the laser, handed him the
How did you manage to do that? Who came up with this idea? Where did this originate from?
Well, that's kind of a crazy story there. So Hogue Built called us. We got a great relationship with those guys. You know, they sell us all kinds of fenders, and we really love their product. Our rep called us and said, hey, you know, we heard you're in the build off. We want to do something. We want to give you some fenders. You know, let us know what we can do. And I said, okay, let me think about it a couple of days. I'll call you back, let you know what I'm thinking. And a week went by, and our guy called, and I said, well, I'm really not sure. I think just a set of extra long single axle fenders. He goes, oh, okay. If that's all you want, no big deal. I was like, well, if you're going to react like that, everybody else is going to react like that, so we can't do that. We got to do something better. So my mind started wandering just a little bit, and I started kind of thinking, okay, what if we do like a half fender, sort of similar like when guys have a rigid chopper. They'll a lot of times take that fender like on a 300 back tire, and they'll kind of cut it down to a point. I was going to do something like that. I was trying to, in my mind, knowing how clean this chassis was going to be, was trying to figure out how to make a support bracket for that wouldn't look big and honky and just really out of place on what we're doing. Like a better term, fender over a fender idea that we've got here. And we sort of played around with a few different designs and settled in on this shape here. And then Mike at the shop, one of my fabricators, he's got some dimple dies, and he's like, hey, I think I can dimple those fenders. And I said, okay, that sounds like a great idea. Let's check that out. It's going to play out. So we did a few tests on the section of fender that we cut off the back. and was able to really come up with a neat design. You know, as you'll see.
Deck plate, we had to figure out the fifth wheel on there, so who came up with this idea?
So we everything molded in, you know, just super smooth, super clean design, and we went suspension is, and it's just sheet metal essentially that we formed and welded in, blended in, and you know, just really needed a extra high riser, knowing that this thing was going to sit as low as it was. You know, I was super nervous when I got to building this fifth wheel riser, or actually handed the stuff off to the guys. They got it tacked up. You know, the thing's like 15.5 inches or something tall, and I was like, it seems super tall, just sitting there with no wheels or anything on it. And I checked my drawing 2 and 3 times because I was just sure that I'd screwed up the measurements on that thing and it was going to look ridiculous. But I was confident in my ability to do that, and it came out great. I knew by the time we got the wheels and the fenders and stuff on there that it was going to look appropriate, but when it was just starting out.
Okay, well, I think that wraps up our Storm Surge build, so we're going to come back over here and finish it up.
All right, now here's what's happening, guys. As soon as we get this gentleman, there you go. It's like, get out of the shot. We have a reveal coming up, 10-4 exclusive right here, brought to you by Dickerson Custom Trucks. Go ahead and leave it on your camera there, Jacob, so we can catch everything as it happens. We're gonna light it up. Are we still on your camera? Go back on your camera. Go ahead. All right. Do you have your guy ready to go?
I think so.
Do we want to do like a little countdown?
He's not quite ready yet.
He's not quite ready yet. Okay, so that being said, what did you guys think of going to come back the way that it has? I think it's a great opportunity for some guys like Dustin. Put out some just wild trucks. So hang with us here. We got one more super cool thing to show you. Let me check and see if they got it figured out yet. You want to talk? You got something to say?
Sure. Okay, so my part in this truck, I got to pick the paint design. So over here you can see how the stripes on here come down and up at a point, pointing towards the top of the hood and the head. I was just sitting in my room, you know, drawing the semi, because that's basically what I do. And
2, 1.
wow.
Okay, come on, baby. Yep. All right, so what we've got, this truck is completely automated, and they are actually trying to start this thing for us, and it's done through the phone and a laptop, and the Wi-Fi out here is awful. So not gonna happen? Okay. All right, guys, listen, hey, we try back out here all day tomorrow, and I bet we can get Dustin to get this guy fired up for us tomorrow and hold that thought.
We got to redeem ourselves.
I think so. All right. Thanks for tuning in today, you guys. Thanks to Dickerson Custom Trucks. Kendall, my protege over here.
Thank you.
Dustin, of course, always my friend. Thank you very much. Molly in the background over there. Don't show her on the camera. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to all the sponsors down below. Be sure and check them out. 10-4 Magazine, Studio 10-4 Live. JT here for you, saying keep the shiny side up, and we will see you tomorrow. Wait a minute. We have delivered. All right. Maybe that's why I didn't want to start. We like the sound of that. We like it. "12-cylinder Caterpillar there, folks. You don't see many of those, and especially looking the way it does, that custom header setup, that's just not done. So, awesome, man.
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys, we got her done. So, redemption is high in the Dickerson Custom Truck Show. All right, y'all, we'll talk to you guys later tomorrow.